Wicked and Wild. A Kindred Tales Duet by Evangeline Anderson. Narrated by J.T. Lawndale, Sebastian Grove, and Ayla Arian. Book 1. Possessed by the Wulven. Chapter 1. Samantha. So you really do this for a living? And other humans like to watch you do it? Rorn, the big kindred warrior who was assigned to be Sam's protector, rolled his eyes, which happened to be golden and inhumanly gorgeous. Not that it made him any less annoying. Yes and yes, Sam said shortly, and shot him an irritated glare. Honestly, why had she been saddled with this big jerk during one of the most important ghost hunts of her life? Oh, right. Because her Aunt Luna had a bad feeling about her safety and wanted her to be protected. Aunt Luna was slightly eccentric. She read tarot cards for a living, dyed her hair blue and purple, and always wore flowing gowns that were exclusively either black or white. She had a pet Sphinx cat named Bertrand, who had his own wardrobe of hand-knitted sweaters, a necessity since he was completely hairless. But she also happened to be married to a kindred warrior who was a member of the High Council. Uncle Bruin, as Sam had been asked to call him, was a beast kindred, and he believed in her Aunt Luna's gift of discernment completely. So he was more than willing to ask that a kindred warrior should be assigned to protect her niece. Sam appreciated her aunt's concern, but she was used to looking out for herself. While it was true that she'd had a few creepy encounters with fans lately, one guy had followed her for several blocks shouting, "Hey, ghost girl! Hey, come here! I'll show you a ghost!" And she'd been getting some disturbing comments on her latest videos. That didn't mean she was actually in danger. People were crazy sometimes, that was all. It was better to just ignore them and move on, at least in Sam's opinion. But Aunt Luna had been so concerned. "My dear, I see trouble for you in the near future," she had insisted when Sam protested that she was fine and didn't need a bodyguard. "Please, just accept the protector your uncle is assigning to you for a little while." Sam loved her Aunt Luna. She had practically raised her, so she had reluctantly agreed. But she never would have said yes if she'd known what a jerk her new protector was going to be. She and Rorn had butted heads right from the start. Rorn was a Wulven kindred, which meant he had some kind of beast or animal inside him. At least, that was what Sam thought it meant. She would have been inclined to like him. She has a thing for scary animals, as her current pet, a tarantula called Sir Pedro, could attest. She'd had a wolf dog for a while, even a ball python named Chompers. But so far, Rorn had never let her see his other half, and he was such a jerk she'd never asked him to reveal it. Sam sighed. She should have known this would be a problem. Right from the start, they hadn't gotten along. He'd shaken her hand politely enough and sworn to protect her with his life. That part was kind of nice, actually. He'd gotten down on one knee almost like he was going to propose. Sam's heart had started thumping when he took her hands in his and looked her in the eyes. "Samantha, I swear to you my oath. I shall stay by your side and brave any danger to keep you safe," he had rumbled in that inhumanly deep voice of his. "My body will be your shield, and my lips shall keep your secrets. Not a drop of your blood will be shed unless all of mine is spilled out upon the ground. This I vow, and may I die 1,000 deaths if my words prove false." With his shaggy brown hair that shaded to gold at the ends, and those golden eyes, not to mention the tattoos on his muscular arms, which were bare since he'd been wearing a vest with no shirt. He'd seemed to be just her type. Sam had been halfway in love with him, until she told him what she did for a living, and that was when things started going bad. A ghost hunter. What in the seven hells is a ghost hunter? He'd growled, arching one thick eyebrow skeptically. Sam had tried to explain that she went to haunted buildings and interacted with spirits, but unfortunately, things only got worse from there. Rorn, it seemed, was a confirmed skeptic who didn't believe in any kind of life after death. He didn't even believe in the goddess that all the kindred worshipped, which was pretty much unheard of, since most of the kindred were so devout. "What do you mean, you don't believe in the goddess?" Sam had asked him. "Don't you call her mother of all life?" "Some do." He'd shrugged, his broad shoulders rolling with emotion. "Not me. Never seen any proof that she exists." "Lots of kindred have, though," Sam pointed out. She'd read an article about that. Many kindred reporting having some kind of contact with the goddess they worshipped. Often, she warned them of impending danger to them or a loved one, or spoke to them in dreams or answered prayers. Such personal interaction with their deity made them much more likely to believe in the spiritual realm. It was one reason that her Aunt Luna's kindred husband was so willing to believe in her gift and assign a protector to her niece. "Just my luck that I get the one kindred who's a non-believer," she thought sourly as she frowned at Rorn, who was watching her unpack her ghost hunting equipment from the back of her van. She'd driven all the way up from Florida, where she lived, to Massachusetts. He had offered to give her a ride in his shuttle, but she had declined, mostly to avoid conversations like the one they were having right now. Her van was parked side by side with his sleek kindred shuttle, both of them under a huge old maple tree with gold and red and orange foliage spreading overhead. There was a distant smell of smoke in the air, as though someone was burning leaves and the sky was a clear autumnal blue. The air was crisp and cold, without being freezing, and Sam could feel the tip of her nose tingling with the chilly weather. It was, in short, absolutely gorgeous. She never got to experience fall weather in Florida, where the only two seasons were hot and hotter. She should have been enjoying herself. Not only did she get to experience this beautiful time of year, but she was about to explore one of the most haunted houses in the entire country, the Belgrave Mansion. But it was all spoiled by the big idiot beside her. "So this whole talking to the dead thing you say you do," Rorn said. "Do humans really believe that shit?" "By that shit, do you mean do they believe in ghosts?" Sam inquired, raising her eyebrow as she placed her spirit box carefully in her bag. "Because the answer is complicated. Maybe too complicated for a guy with a brain that's not big enough to comprehend the paranormal." He frowned. "Hey, there's no need to be insulting. I was just asking a question." Sam, seriously? Couldn't Aunt Luna's husband have found another, more agreeable kindred warrior to watch out for her? Or at least one who didn't sneer at the way she earned her living? "All right," she said, trying to hold on to her temper. "Well, the answer to your question is, like I said, complicated. Statistically speaking, about a third of humans believe in ghosts and spirits. But that's because only about a third of us have any kind of sensitivity to supernatural phenomena. Even fewer can actually communicate with the dead." "And I'm guessing you're one of the few?" he asked, raising one eyebrow skeptically. "Yes, as a matter of fact," Sam said frostily. "I have a small talent. My gift is nowhere near as strong as my aunt's or my sister's, but I'm what you call a sensitive.